All right, good morning, everybody. From the Highland Desert to Colorado, of the Rocky Mountain, the Highland Desert of the Rocky Mountains of Colorado, however you say all that, is we finally got it all switched up, switched around, cables adjusted, all that happy jazz. Both of the MPPT charge controllers. This one now has three panels on it. That one has six. Earlier on, I had one. I lost one to whatever. I'm going to think a lightning strike or something, fried the diode. But we got it taken out of the series. And the idea is next year, because I'm trying to do all this debt free. That is, if I can. Okay, I got good credit, but debt free is better. Is if I can is the next year I want to add 10 more panels to the backyard. The panels that I have now are in the front yard, and I really don't like them there. But I want to add them all in a single line in the backyard to where I can sweep them, or the ones that I don't really need to sweep, like for the hot water or whatever, is add them above. You know what I mean? But kind of make a better plan to what I did. And when this panel burnt out in front, it was cold, it was wet, it was snowing. I was on the ground, and I was just trying to get it done as fast as humanly possible. I couldn't even tell you which panels are in what series out there. I just know I was plugging them in as I went. And I knew that that MPP charger down here it was limited to 3 panels. And that's how come this one has 3 panels on it now. I just swapped the lines without changing anything outside. And these panels are the ones that are on the bottom line. There's 5 across the bottom, 5 across the top. And these are on the bottom, or bottom and the sides or whatever. But if I sweep the bottom, I get about 145 volt coming in, which is more than enough to get it all done. The batteries over here, through that last snowstorm and then the ice and all that, it was 4 days before the solar came back on. The lithium went through. I don't got a whole huge load, I'm not like 50 amp hour house or nothing like that. Or some of these houses, 200 and 300, 400 amp hour. Oh my word. No, I'm about 20, 25 amp. And that's enough for me. I run 1 horse stuff, and that's more than enough for me. I don't need, like 5 horse air compressors and jazz like that. And a lot of times I'm just running the air compressor to like use up the power instead of it just being shunted or wasted or whatever like that. And that's what a lot of this is about. Like I said, I'm going to add 10 more panels to the backyard. That'll all pretty much go right into this one here. It's made for that many. The panels that are on this one will probably stay. The 6 will be dedicated just to heating the floor. This charger over here has a second out circuit that's made just for that. It's on a voltage point thing in the deal. You can program it. So you can turn the power on, as it has excessive power, it just dumps the load to the heating element. And what we're doing is this spring this floor has 300 feet of PEX tubing in it. The floor behind me, it has 300 foot of PEX tubing in it. I have 100 more feet that I was wanting to put out on the porch. Maybe, it's concrete and it would have to be broke up, but it's not like real professional concrete. It's like bagcrete or whatever. And but I think it could be broke up. If not, it's not that big of a deal. But it would be nice to just have if you have excessive hot water. And it does work. I did that in that bucket the other day. And don't try any of this crap that I'm doing at home. DC, anything above 50 volt DC will kill you, y'all. Be real respectful of this stuff, especially when it gets up like double that, like 100. Anything like that, oh my word. Pay attention to what you're doing. That's why this whole thing took so long, I could only do so much. The second that we're up here, like now y'all can't tell, that's a purple bar that's on the deal, or I can't tell through my side. When it's red, I can see it. It's real red. Is at night when it's coming from the batteries into the inverter, it's red. In the daytime, when the sun comes up, like now, it's making juice. It's purple. And then if it's coming in from the generator or I don't have grid power, so that's not relevant. But if it comes in from the generator, it's blue. It's kind of cool, that bar that's up on top. And again, I'm going to say this one more time. I am a lazy ass, bad name. Don't ever let your lead acid batteries look like that. This used to be dirt, like I said, just this spring. This was dirt for 11 years. And so they sit on a little concrete pad all by themselves in the corner, and like poor pathetic stepchildren, they just got crapped on. But they're only like 5 years old. Well, that's old enough, I mean, 2019, December 4th, 2019 is when they were installed, and they've been running just flawlessly until now. The voltage, I think, is holding 12.8 on the meter right there. That meter is, those leads are on the bottom. I got to clean that all up. Because it don't even match. The 2 meters aren't even close. The meter on this one here, I think, is 12.3, and this one's 12.8. Not even close. And the fluke meter is closer to this one than that one. So, and this one you can program it. Like if the voltage isn't correct or whatever, you can change this one. So that's probably what it is. Just a little out of sync or whatever. But you can change the display, the voltage on the display. This one here, when you disconnect it, you got to reprogram that whole thing. Luckily, if you get the owner's manual, is in the programming section of it. Best advice I can give you is to go through, read everything, because it's going to give you answers like L plus C, and then SBU, and then OSO, and crap like that, these abbreviated letters. And you got to go back and look up every one of those abbreviations to understand what you want it to do, or otherwise it's way too much. I mean, they don't use words, they use abbreviated symbols. I mean, some of them are like plus marks and stuff like that. So go through the book. Know where this goes for any big programmable inverter, not just this one or that one or whatever. But go through the book, use a highlighter, find what you want it to be, then highlight that, because it'll give you the 3 choices or 4 choices or whatever it's going to give you every question. And there, like on this one, there's 42. You start out at 00 and you go to 42, and you answer them all, or you start over again, kind of thing. Or you can start over but hit enter like twice every time that you register something, so it locks it in, and then just keep going. And but it's fine. But like I said, highlight the answers that you want. That way, when you got to reprogram it again, like this morning, it took all of 3 seconds just to go, and it was done. But it reset it back to 50 hertz and stuff like that, is what I'm trying to say. But that was taking it off power or offline for probably 40 minutes total. I mean, it was quite a minute. It wasn't just like real quick. I had to make up the battery cables. But the battery cables were dedicated to the solar coming in, the same size cable. And when another hint or whatever, a best suggestion, something like that, whenever you're buying wire, okay, yes, this crap is expensive. So don't buy the cheapest that you can and then make it worse on yourself, okay? This is, it's the silicone rubber, it's marine grade, so it will never get hard. It doesn't like PVC or crack or any of that jazz. If you, in a shout out, I want to shout out to this company right here. It's out. Yep, I would have got it wrong. I was going to call it Fun Tech, Elec Fun, and they made the heat shrink tubing, and this is like really oversized for the cable that I'm using. Cable, let's see, a cable end right here. Here we go. See, the cable end is quite little, is what I'm trying to get at. And this heat shrink goes down like a lot. So if you want to do like fancy connections or anything like that, if the what was I going to say? There's so much you can do. Like if you make a U, cut like a straight line in, and then make a little bit like the width of that is, or the diameter, and come back around and come back out, but make this probably go in 16. That's probably 7-8 millimeter wire, and so make it 7-8 millimeter in width, but come in maybe 16 millimeter, 18 millimeter, 3/4 inch, something like that. And so to make stuff like this, instead of just wrapping it hokey with tape, and that's because I was getting tired, but what it is, you can slide that over the top, heat the end, and then stick it to the backside, and you can do all kinds of nice stuff, is what I'm saying. Is like, this is the final product. I don't know if y'all can see that good, but it has adhesive in the inside. It's the stuff, and you can use it just to like mark the generic cables like that, where you get bulk cable. You don't got to buy like each individual color. You can buy like all black or all green, whatever, maybe all white, whatever the cable comes in, and just buy the heat shrink tubing to mark your cables. You can do it without it, but I would not advise it. That's why you got in the electrical boxes, you got they use one color red, and in there's numbers that you go by, that every cable's wrapped with, and that's a kind of a pain because they're not like bulletproof or nothing like that. The numbers, where unless it's in a cabinet, the numbers fade, is what I'm trying to get at. But marking cables like that's kind of, you can wrap them. You can take a wrap of black tape on it, and which will get you by. I've done it myself. I can't say that I've not done that. But the heat shrink tube is cheap enough. I think that was 3/4 inch stuff, and it was like $8-9 for the 4-foot bag. And it's 2 pieces of 4-foot, it's black and red. So and it's triple reduction with the adhesive in it. It's really good stuff. It all but vulcanizes right into the silicone rubber, to the sheathing of that. It does a really nice job, is what I'm trying to get at, y'all. And I don't like brag on products for just no reason, but I got to say that's a quality product. The red is not real red, and when you heat it up, it really turns kind of an orange, an off orange. That kind of was weird. But now I have 2 other ones that are for even bigger cable, but the red is more red, so maybe it was just a fluke on this one. But the product itself is fine. It was just the off color. And but you still can't confuse it for black or something unless you're colorblind. You're good. Okay. I had a question. What I'm doing next over here? This is the dragon pipe from the stove. I want to kind of keep this. Possibly, I was thinking about wrapping it, and then going out the wall, at a different place or whatever. Because this is way down here, like that. It's almost flat. This section is almost flat. That's why it's called a dragon, because it's dragging the air, and then you use bump ups, or you can tilt the pipe downward and make all the particulates fall out. That's why there's that sooty dust, and it lays in the corners of the pipe when I take it apart. This has never been cleaned. This is the 5th year. This has not been cleaned. It burns pine as clean, and this is my pine pile, no fooling. This pine wood, nothing but pine. Spruce, ponderosa, Douglas fir, aspen a little bit. I don't think I've ever seen birch or nothing like that. No proper firewood at all, ever. But it does good. It's dry. It's that beetle-killed stuff, so it's super dry. It's dead, standing upright, and then they bring it to you. You couldn't ask for a better firewood. In Arkansas, If you couldn't pay somebody to burn pine in Arkansas. That's why I had to laugh about that. As here, it's the only thing. It's the only option you get. And it was one of the reasons why I built this. I did this with my grandfather a long time ago. The design is what it is. It's for gasification, but it takes a nasty fuel that is normally extremely smoky. And if you've never burned pine at 10,000 feet, you've missed a treat. That's a bucket list thing you need to try. Is just trying to get one of them ill-natured things to start fire is hard at 10,000 feet. Pine is what I'm trying to say. But this can start just with a match and just it works really well. And y'all, this is in there in my thing, so if you want to use this design, go right ahead. If you use it like commercially, I'd like a little bit of credit for it, but not necessarily the money, it just credit. But I don't, please don't rip it off. Don't look at the videos, rip it off, and then claim it's yours. I will sue you. No bullshit. I mean, nothing personal. Because I will win, you will lose, and you will pay me dearly for ripping me off. That's just common sense. It's just fair. Nothing personal. That's kind of how I feel about rich people doing stupid shit. It's just better that they, get knocked down a notch. Not a lot. And even if I only win $1, I'm going to win, and you're going to look like a schmuck. That's what I'm trying to get at. I don't got to win a lot. But the next thing on the deal is do something with the exhaust. Not real sure what. I thought about wrapping it more in concrete to use it more like a battery. I don't know. I just, some odd thoughts. The next is these are the old, I thought about heating the concrete with the propane, and that was wrong. That was so stupidly expensive. To have piss warm water, because you don't heat the concrete like super hot. You just heat it constantly at a like a degraded temperature or whatever I'm trying to say. To make it run right is what I'm trying to say. It's wrong. It just was like $1,600 to heat the floor. I don't spend $1,600 on wood. It's only like $1,300 for like 4 years worth of wood. I can almost make a 5 years stretch out of a semi load of wood. And it was $1,600 for 1 year. That was an abysmal failure. So that's going away. That's the next thing that happens is this goes away, and it's going to be replaced with a little bitty, about so tall, electric hot water tank. It'll be 120, and it'll use up the excess from here. I'm going to make a stainless steel little add-on to it. It'll have 2 more elements in it that'll run directly from the PV from outside next year. And it'll only use the power off the batteries like in a last case scenario kind of thing. But this is already proving to have more, the lack of loss from the lithium. The lead acid has a lot of loss. If they're dirty like this, it has even more loss. They're an all-about failure. I mean, I hate making recommendations, but if you were like one of my kids, I would say, no, don't do this. Don't ever go lead acid. Don't do this. It's just expensive. It's an exercise in patience and a lot. I mean, there's a lot to that. Don't go there. I mean, is what I'm trying to get at. Go minimum this that LiFePO 4. It's lithium iron phosphate. I don't remember what the 4 is for, but it's lithium iron phosphate design. They don't catch on fire. These, even if they did, they're in a steel box. Not that it wouldn't probably burn down the house, but I mean, it's really better. I still have not got the breakers for them. Right here on each one of these deals is just on one side is what I'm saying, but on these little box things there's a breaker that goes on and the wire goes in, but there's a trip. It's pretty slick little deal. They still haven't come. But that's all I'm lacking. I still got the breakers outside. Don't trust the crap. If you're going to buy breakers and stuff, buy the finest breaker that you can buy, whether it's from Scandinavia or Sweden or Germany or Japan, China. I mean, I'm not knocking one country or another. Everybody makes cheap shit. Everybody makes good shit. When it comes to high voltage DC, only buy the finest crap. The finest wire, the silicone rubber wire, sheathed, fine wire. If you have to, like this inverter's not made for that kind of wire. This one was. I mean, all of these 4 big cables are up inside this, wired in just fine. This one is made for the. This is same size wire. This is 6. This is 6 fine, and this is 6 hard. And then I just had to, whatever you call that, adapt it, I guess is what you'd call it. There's another word for that. But then, to make it go up inside the machine, because the one wire comes in from the outside. But would I want the other wire? No. To be honest, no. That's like, if you ever have to move this stuff or whatever, that other wire degrades. It'll pop. The plastic will break, and then if the plastic breaks, the PVC coating that's on there comes apart. It's no good. Not for this application, is what I'm trying to say. And especially if you have to move it more than once. That would have been like a total wire loss if it would have been wired in that other stuff. And I could not be reused any of the wire. All this stuff has been reused again and again and again and again. And it's the same wire that goes out to the panels. I bought it in a big spool. But like I said, if you're buying for this kind of stuff, don't chintz on the DC side. The AC side, you can get away with that other kind of wire. Like regular Romex wire is what I'm trying to get at. DC, not so much. And never, ever put an DC load through an AC breaker. Ever. I don't care who tells you what, where, or when. Don't do it. I mean, yes, there is a formula for it, but I think it's like you got to go up to like 4. Don't like write this in nothing. Don't say I said this. But there is a formula for it, but you got to use like breakers for like 480 for 48 volt DC, just to give you a comparison. 480 volt AC breakers to use for 48 volt DC. I mean, that's why they're stupidly expensive, because they're stupidly big, and the guts in them won't burn up. The AC breakers will. That's just the DC breakers. If you buy the breaker that I had was a midnight breaker. I'll tell you the way it was, but I'm thinking it got fried in the open position because I got hit by lightning. Maybe not. I'm just saying, and I don't want to dog on the company. They're a really good company. I love that charge controller. I mean, it can go to wind. It can do a lot of stuff. And it is a workhorse, so I hate to say anything bad about the company, but the breaker that was in that control box, it was fried in the open position. You couldn't shut it. You could shut it off, but it didn't shut off the power, is what I'm trying to get at. DC, and that was a DC breaker made by a DC company, an American-made DC company. Just know what you're buying, y'all. And that's what I'm saying. I think that's what it was. I'm almost positive it was a lightning strike to blow the breaker and burn it, or to fry it in the open position, is what I'm trying to say. But I can't deduce it no better than that. There ain't no forensics to tell you. Next, I got to clean up the batteries before I do like any big other thing else. The other project is to get rid of the hot water tanks over here, and replace the little tank is coming. But that'll be gone. And when, probably don't know, to be honest, because there's a lot more to that. I got like about 10 more sheets of OSB to go in here, as this end's pretty much done. And I got my wood in here. This is all my old leftover 12 volt wire. We're done with that. 12 volt pump quit me just about the time that this project was like, well, just the other day actually. And I got 120 pumps that I've replaced. I only had one left 12 volt pump. I used to have a couple of them, like 2 or 3, to do all the different things. And slowly over the time, I've replaced them. And I got to give a shout out to the Harbor Freight people. They make a pump. It's called Drummond and Green Dude. And but I've used them for irrigation in the greenhouse. I've used them for everything, for water transfers, for water pumping, just everything. They're wonderful. And finally, I needed one to do more is what I'm trying to get at. So I'll give you an update on that. But up until now, their products were wonderful for the kind that go in the tank, the submersible kind. I got the new one. It's a pump, but it's on the like a house pump, that you hook up to a house, like a sprinkler pump or whatever. Whatever. There's a name for those kind of pumps. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't think of the water jets or something like that. There's a name for these kind of pump is what I'm trying to get at. Now I'll give you a bump up on it. But all this is all gone. I mean, this is just waiting for the trash now. And but yeah, it turned out pretty good. There's nothing really square about down here. The upstairs was really I put a lot of attention in it. This was never even supposed to be finished. And then the out here, that ramp is just dangerous in the wintertime. So it would leave me either locked in the house or locked out of the house for a long time on a time, days on time. And then I used to have let's see if I can get turned around here. I don't know. Nah, it's all good. But I used to have like a big elevator shaft looking thing. But it was hard to close to you couldn't heat nothing. Not the upstairs, not the downstairs. It was not right. So we got it fixed. And I'll bump you up on all that when I can get to it. But it's more than I can film today. This is a long one, y'all. I appreciate all the likes, the shares, the subscribes, the comments. Excellent. Email me if you ever need that. I'm not giving out ratios. I'm not giving out, none of that. Don't waste your time on that. If you want me to work on a project, I can do that, okay? But it won't be cheap, y'all, and it'll be real. So I'm not into the rest. If you need somebody to hold your hand to do arts and crafts, go find a school teacher. I'm not that person. But I mean, if you're working on a real project, hey, I can throw in with anybody. I just don't do menial crap very well. I don't do that. So, and I'm not into, I'm a big corporation. Help me out for free because I'm going to screw everybody for the rest of the world's time. Okay, no, I have zero interest in you. I don't even want to work for you is what I'm trying to get at. But if you're like Ocean X or somebody like that, a nonprofit or a research group or something like that, and you need help or you're stuck or whatever, reach out to me. That I do. If you can help me get like I said before, I saw this boat. It was all electric. Okay, an all electric catamaran, and I don't care who the company is. That I don't care. I just want it to be an explorer kind of catamaran to where I can have an electric runabout, like an electric jet ski kind of thing, all electric, get the theme. But the boat where it's just overkill on solar, and I want to go around the earth as many times as I can until I'm dead. However many times that is. If you want to be a part of that, or if you just want to make a crazy old person's dream come true, let me know. That I'm into. Then we can talk all the menial crap that you want me to do. But it'll be from that boat, and I can send you back Skype. But other than that, no, I'm not into the other stuff, y'all. But appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I'm never knocking the offers. I mean, I don't do it. So don't hold your breath is all I'm saying. Okay, we're done here. The hot water thing works perfect from that. It'll work perfect from the DC direct. And that's how we're going to heat the house pretty much from now on. Like next year, this house will be heated directly off of DC from the sun, and that's it. If you want to hear the crackle, then we can burn a little firewood. You'll shut it all down and burn firewood, but otherwise there will be no need for it. Because in the sunny days, it produces, I've already tested it, it produces far more enough energy to superheat the concrete to where it would be uncomfortable in here. And so, yeah, it has no problem doing what I'm proposing, is what I'm trying to get at. It's not theoretical. I mean, it's not proven, but it's not theoretical either. It's getting there. So, okay, guys, I'm going to cut it off because this is really long. All right, talk to you. Bye.